Hello, dear friends. I'm Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Baseball Legends. Will Clark wasn't just another baseball player. He was a force that defined an era, an athlete whose talent and passion won over the hearts of millions, especially in San Francisco. From his early days as a college prospect to his meteoric rise in the MLB, Clark showcased a rare combination of skill, courage, and charisma that turned him into an icon among fans and fellow players. But despite his impressive stats and shining moments, his career is also marked by controversy, perseverance, and a legacy that many believe remains underrated to this day. Imagine making your MLB debut with a home run off none other than Nolan Ryan, one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history. That was just the beginning for Will Clark, who quickly became the face of the Giants in the late 1980s, leading the team to historic achievements while playing with an intense, emotional style that earned both admiration and respect. His prowess at the plate, paired with his natural leadership, made him a standout performer in clutch playoff moments, solidifying his reputation as a player who could shine under pressure. Watch this video until the end and tell us, what moment in Will Clark's career impressed you the most? Have you ever watched one of his legendary games or have a special memory involving this baseball icon? Leave a comment, share your experience, and join the conversation with other passionate fans. We want to hear from you. But what truly makes Will Clark's story fascinating isn't just the numbers or accomplishments on the field. It's the complexity of the man behind the legend, an athlete who faced challenges, team changes, and the sting of being left out of the Hall of Fame, yet who never lost his connection with fans or his love for the game. In this journey, we'll explore not only the career of one of the greatest first basemen of his generation, but also the lasting impact he left on the world of baseball. Get ready to discover what makes Will Clark a true legend. Far beyond the record books, Will Clark had a truly brilliant start in college baseball that foreshadowed his future greatness in Major League Baseball. He played for Mississippi State University, where he quickly became one of the most dominant players in the country, alongside other talents like Rafael Palmeiro, with whom he formed the legendary duo known as Thunder and Lightning. Clark helped turn the Bulldogs into one of the most feared college baseball programs of the 1980s. His presence at the plate was commanding, with a precise and powerful swing that caught the attention of fans and scouts alike. He wasn't just a gifted hitter, he was a fierce competitor, known for his unwavering confidence and intense game-time demeanor. From 1983 to 1985, Clark steadily rose to stardom in the Southeastern Conference, SEC, one of the most competitive college baseball leagues in the United States. His performance featured sky-high batting averages, impressive power, and exceptional plate discipline, a skill set rarely seen in players so young. He also displayed strong leadership on the field, serving as a central figure on a team that was consistently ranked among the nation's best. Clark's impact wasn't limited to offense. At first base, he already showed quick reflexes and sharp instincts, standing out on defense just as much as at the plate. This combination of offensive and defensive talent made his name known nationwide long before he ever stepped onto an MLB field. The pinnacle of his college career came in 1985 when Will Clark was awarded the prestigious Golden Spikes Award, given annually to the best amateur baseball player in the United States. The award recognized not just his stats, but also his value to the team, his work ethic, and his ability to perform in clutch moments. Winning that award placed Clark among the country's top prospects and solidified his reputation as a rare talent. The 1985 season was truly historic. He led the nation in multiple offensive categories and became an obvious choice for MLB scouts, who followed his every move with keen interest. Will Clark also shined in international competitions during his college years, representing the United States in events like the Intercontinental Cup and the Pan American Games. He played for the unofficial U.S. Olympic baseball team in 1984, when baseball was still a demonstration sport at the Los Angeles Olympics, offering international fans a glimpse of his skill and determination. Wearing the Team USA jersey was a point of pride early in his career and only reinforced his image as one of the rising stars of American baseball. These experiences not only enhanced his resume, but also mentally prepared him for the pressure and prestige of professional baseball. Clark's success at Mississippi State left a lasting legacy. To this day, he's remembered as a campus legend, with his accomplishments still celebrated by students, alumni, and fans. The university continues to honor his career and influence, often pointing to him as the ultimate example of athletic excellence. His journey has inspired generations of players to follow in his footsteps and strive for success in both academics and sports. Few college athletes have managed to maintain the same level of performance, intensity, and impact that Will Clark delivered during his time with the Bulldogs. In retrospect, Will Clark's college years were far more than just a stepping stone to MLB. They were a chapter of validation and triumph. His achievements on the college fields of America paved the way for his triumphant entry into the pros and laid the foundation for a memorable career. He left Mississippi State as one of the most respected amateur players in baseball history, and his time there remains one of the brightest stories of the modern era. For many, that elegant and powerful swing that terrified college pitchers was only the beginning of a journey that would make him a true American baseball icon. Will Clark made his Major League Baseball debut in 1986 with the San Francisco Giants, and his arrival was nothing short of spectacular. In his very first at-bat, he faced legendary pitcher Nolan Ryan, known for his intimidating fastball and near-mythical status in the baseball world. Few rookies would have the nerve or ability to stand confidently against someone like Ryan. But Clark not only stood his ground, he crushed a towering home run. That moment instantly became part of Giants lore and announced to the baseball world that Will Clark was no ordinary rookie. His legendary debut showcased not only his polished technique, but also a confidence that bordered on fearless, a trait that would define his entire career. After that memorable debut, Clark quickly established himself as one of the brightest prospects in both the franchise and the league. His impact was immediate, both at the plate and at first base. He played with visible intensity, often shown through his fierce facial expressions and absolute focus during games. In his rookie season, he displayed offensive consistency and a rare maturity for a first-year player, finishing with a .287 batting average, 11 home runs, and 41 RBIs in just 111 games. Impressive numbers considering he missed part of the season due to injuries. Still, despite those setbacks, his presence on the field was undeniable, and his connection with the fans began to grow. Clark quickly became a central figure in the Giants' rebuilding process as the team sought to return to prominence in the National League. With his elegant, lightning-quick swing, often described as one of the most beautiful of the era, he brought new energy to the team and helped change the atmosphere in the clubhouse. His competitive nature inspired teammates and intimidated opponents. On the field, he combined skill with charisma. Off the field, he won fans over with his authenticity. As the city of San Francisco embraced him as its new idol, Clark became the face of the franchise, a responsibility he handled naturally. With every game, he proved that his college success was no fluke. He was building something even bigger. The home run off Nolan Ryan was just the first of many iconic moments in Will Clark's MLB career. More than just a symbol of early talent, that swing encapsulated the kind of player he was: fearless, determined, and ready for the big stage. His arrival in the league not only elevated the Giants' level of play, but also introduced a new star to American baseball. In the following years, Clark would cement his place as one of the best first basemen of his generation, but it all began with that powerful swing against one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Well, Clark's debut wasn't just promising. It was historic, and it immediately set the high standard he would maintain throughout his brilliant career by the late 1980s. Well, Clark wasn't just a great player. He was a true baseball star, with a swing that was smooth, fast, and natural, often considered one of the prettiest in modern baseball. He drew attention from fans and analysts alike, but his technical beauty was matched by consistent offensive production, which solidified his place among the league's elite. From 1987 to 1989, Clark posted batting averages over .300, drove in dozens of runs, and hit key home runs in clutch moments. With each season, he showcased not just talent, but impressive reliability. Becoming the San Francisco Giants' leading figure, Clark embodied the sport's intensity. His determined face, often squinting in deep concentration with a clenched jaw, was the image of competitiveness. He wasn't just effective, he was charismatic, played with passion, and exuded leadership. With those traits, he quickly won over the Giants' fan base and gained national attention. In 1988, he led the National League in hits, 109, with runners in scoring position, and finished with an impressive .308 average. The following year, he had perhaps his best statistical season, with 111 RBIs and 23 home runs, leading the Giants on a memorable postseason run. The pinnacle of that stardom came in 1989, when Clark led the Giants to the World Series. During the playoffs, his performance was absolutely dominant, especially in the National League Championship Series, NLCS, against the Chicago Cubs. He was named Series MVP after collecting 13 hits, including 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, in just 5 games. His performance was so overwhelming that the Cubs had no answers. In one of the most iconic moments of the series, Clark read pitcher Greg Maddox's lips during a mound visit, predicted the next pitch, and launched a grand slam. That kind of in-game intelligence, combined with his natural talent, reinforced his reputation as one of the most complete players in the league. Although the Giants were defeated by the Oakland Athletics in the World Series, the 1989 season cemented Clark's status as an icon of the 1980s. He was the heart and soul of the team, the emotional and technical leader of a franchise that, with his help, had returned to baseball's spotlight. For many fans and critics, Clark represented a rare combination: talent, passion, and presence. And by the end of the decade, he wasn't just the face of the Giants. He was one of the most respected and recognizable figures in all of MLB. Clark's meteoric rise was not only a reflection of his physical abilities, but also of his championship mindset that influenced everything around him on the field. The 1989 season was, without a doubt, one of the most memorable of Clark's career and one of the most dominant by any player in the National League that year. Clark demonstrated incredible offensive consistency, finishing the regular season with a .333 batting average, 23 home runs, 111 RBIs, and a .953 OPS, numbers that firmly placed him in the MVP conversation. More than just stats, Clark was the emotional and technical engine of the Giants, leading the team on and off the field. His consistent performance under pressure made him a nightmare for opposing pitchers and a highly valued presence among teammates and coaches. Despite his brilliant campaign, Clark finished second in the National League MVP voting behind his own teammate Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell had a sensational season with 47 home runs and 125 RBIs, which ultimately carried more weight with BBWA voters. Still, many analysts argue to this day that Clark's overall impact, especially his plate discipline, flawless first base defense, and clutch performances, made him just as valuable, if not more so, than Mitchell. Regardless, having two MVP-caliber players on the same team was a reflection of the Giants' offensive power that year, and Clark was the heartbeat of that group. His postseason performance only reinforced how crucial he was to the team's success. In the NLCS against the Cubs, Clark delivered one of the most memorable playoff series by a player in MLB history. He batted .650 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, including a grand slam that virtually sealed the Giants' ticket to the World Series. Even though they lost to the Athletics in the final, Clark's impact during the 1989 season was monumental. While he didn't take home the MVP trophy, he earned something perhaps even rarer: the unanimous respect of teammates, opponents, and fans alike, solidifying his place as one of the most influential players of his generation. In the 1989 playoffs, Clark elevated his game to near-mythical levels, especially in the National League Championship Series, NLCS, against the Chicago Cubs. His performance was a masterclass in offensive dominance, with numbers that still dazzle today: a .650 batting average, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a constant presence on base. In every game, Clark seemed to be one step ahead of the opposing pitchers, showing not only raw talent, but also remarkable strategic intelligence. He read pitches with clarity, picked his swings with precision, and capitalized on every opportunity to punish the Cubs. It was a series where he asserted himself as the gravitational center of the Giants' offense. The most iconic moment of that series came in Game 1, when Clark faced Greg Maddux with the bases loaded. After a tense stare-down between the mound and the plate, Clark unloaded a grand slam that turned the game around and set the emotional tone for the series. It wasn't just a spectacular play, it was a statement. He was there to decide the outcome. That home run was so memorable that Maddux, one of the smartest and most respected pitchers in baseball history, later remarked how Clark seemed to know exactly what was coming. That kind of psychological and technical dominance is rare in the postseason, where pressure tends to level talent. In Clark's case, pressure only seemed to amplify his performance by the end of the series. Naming Clark the NLCS MVP was inevitable and undisputed. He was the decisive factor in the Giants winning the National League pennant and advancing to their first World Series since 1962. His performance not only cemented his reputation as one of the best players of the era, but also as one of the most reliable under high pressure. In the eyes of fans and experts alike, Clark had become more than just a regular season star. He was now a symbol of clutch performance, a name that represented grit, skill, and competitive spirit when everything was on the line. Clark stood out not just for his technical talent, but for his intense and emotional playing style that poured into every at-bat. On the field, he was impossible to ignore. His focused expression, eyes locked on the pitcher, and fierce demeanor at the plate revealed a competitor who took the game incredibly seriously. Clark played with his heart on his sleeve, celebrating triumphs with genuine energy and facing adversity with equal passion. This intensity was not forced. It reflected the deep respect he had for the sport and his constant desire to win. His emotional presence in the game became contagious, often inspiring teammates and igniting the crowd. This blend of intensity and skill made Clark a polarizing figure, adored by San Francisco Giants fans and respected, though feared by opponents. His competitiveness was so evident that many pitchers avoided provoking him, knowing that any emotional spark could trigger an even more destructive performance. Clark was the kind of player who thrived on conflict, rivalries, and moments charged with emotion. For fans, he symbolized a visceral and authentic baseball, driven by passion, effort, and personality, a rarity in a sport often characterized by composure and restraint. After leaving the San Francisco Giants at the end of the 1993 season, Clark signed with the Texas Rangers, where he continued to display his offensive prowess and competitive fire. Even in a new environment, he remained consistent at the plate, posting solid batting averages and consistently appearing among the team's offensive leaders. In Texas, Clark was tasked with filling the shoes of Don Mattingly as one of the league's most respected veteran first basemen, and he quickly took on a leadership role both on the field and in the clubhouse. His teammates recognized his professionalism, meticulous preparation, and passion for the game, traits that made him a positive influence in the locker room, especially for younger players. At the end of his career, Clark had a brief but impactful stint with the St. Louis Cardinals. Despite the physical limitations that came with time, he was a key addition late in the 2000 season, helping the team reach the playoffs. His experience and veteran presence were crucial in the clubhouse, and his performance in high-stakes games proved he could still contribute at a high level. Clark's farewell from the game came in a fitting and symbolic way, leaving the stage as a player respected for both his legacy and the intense, passionate way he had approached the game throughout his career. The 2000 season marked Will Clark's farewell to Major League Baseball, and he did so with the same class and intensity that had defined his entire career. After being acquired by the St. Louis Cardinals midseason, Clark quickly emerged as a key piece during the final stretch of the regular season. He replaced Mark McGwire at first base and responded with outstanding offensive production, posting a high batting average and contributing with power and consistency. His veteran presence was vital to a roster full of young talent, and his quiet leadership helped stabilize the team heading into the playoffs. Far from just a veteran on his way out, Clark proved he was still a difference maker in the playoffs. Clark elevated his game even further. He delivered standout performances in both the Division Series and the NLCS, proving he could still rise to the occasion when it mattered most. His hot bat and composed demeanor under pressure inspired his teammates and won the admiration of Cardinals fans. Though the team didn't reach the World Series, Clark's contributions were undeniable. At the end of the postseason, he announced his retirement, stepping away from the game on an emotional high with his legacy fully intact. It was a farewell worthy of an athlete who always played with heart, refined technique, and an unshakable competitive spirit. Will Clark left a deep mark on baseball and solidified his place among the best first basemen of his generation. Over the course of his 15-season career in Major League Baseball, he recorded over 2,100 hits and an impressive .303 batting average, a figure that reflects his consistency, discipline at the plate, and ability to produce at a high level year after year. Additionally, his 6 All-Star Game selections speak to the respect he earned from fans, peers, and experts alike. Clark was a constant presence among the league's offensive leaders, combining power, contact, and intelligence in his approach at the plate. His production was never just about numbers. He was a hitter who could change the outcome of big games with his skill and competitive presence. But Will Clark's legacy goes beyond his bat. He was also an exceptional defender at first base, known for his quick reflexes, soft hands, and quiet leadership on the field. His elegance and precision on defense gave confidence to his infield teammates and proved that he had mastered every facet of the game. Clark was the kind of player who influenced victories both in visible and subtle ways, whether through a great defensive play or an inspiring locker room speech. His intense yet refined playing style made him a role model for future generations. A first baseman, though he never made it to the Hall of Fame, his impact lives on in the hearts of fans and in the annals of baseball as a symbol of excellence and passion for the sport. Will Clark may not have received enough votes to enter the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, but to San Francisco Giants fans and to many baseball lovers, he will always be a legend. From his memorable debut in 1986 to his farewell from the team in 1993, Clark captured the hearts of the fan base with his intensity, talent, and fierce approach to the game. He was seen not just as a great player, but as a symbol of hope and pride for the franchise, especially during the years when he led the Giants to major accomplishments like the long-awaited trip to the 1989 World Series. His elegant and precise swing was recognizable from a distance, as was his visible passion in every play. The affection San Francisco fans have for Clark has never waned, even decades after his departure. He continued to be celebrated through memorabilia, jerseys, highlight reels, and standing ovations every time he returned to Oracle Park. It was clear that, to the fans, he represented more than statistics. He embodied the competitive spirit and the soul of the Giants during those years. In a city passionate about baseball, Will Clark became a local hero, and his image lived on as a reminder of golden times and an era defined by dedication and grit. This emotional connection between Clark and the fans gained a new chapter in 2022, when the San Francisco Giants made one of the most symbolic and emotional decisions in their recent history, officially retiring the number 22 that he wore during his time with the team. The ceremony, attended by former players, team officials, and thousands of fans, was a moment of recognition and celebration. Number 22 joined the select group of retired numbers by the franchise, reinforcing Clark's importance not just as a player, but as a cultural icon of the organization. During the tribute, Clark couldn't hold back his tears. His emotional speech recalled the glory days, the challenges he overcame, and, above all, his gratitude for being part of such a passionate and loyal community. He thanked his teammates, his coaches, and most of all, the fans who stood by him every step of the way. The event was more than just a sports celebration. It was a reunion between a star and the people who had followed him fervently for years. And for many in attendance, it felt like the official crowning of Clark's legendary status in the heart of the city. This kind of recognition, even if it doesn't come with a plaque in the National Hall of Fame, often carries an even more special value. After all, while the decisions of journalists and voters can be cold or based on technical criteria, the love from the fans is visceral, real, and eternal. In Will Clark's case, the human and emotional impact he had on the Giants and on the city of San Francisco perhaps speaks louder than his numbers, no matter how impressive they are. He personified the passion of a franchise and left an indelible mark on a generation of fans. Today, Clark remains involved with the Giants organization, serving in ambassadorial roles and maintaining direct contact with players and fans. His presence in the stands or on the field during special ceremonies is always met with enthusiasm. More than a former player, he has become a living part of the Giants' identity. And as time passes and new stars emerge, the number 22 and the name Will Clark will continue to shine as symbols of a legacy built with talent, emotion, and devotion to the game. Will Clark is a clear example of how talent, dedication, and passion for the game can build a memorable career that transcends statistics and numbers. His journey reminds us that, in sports as in life, raw talent alone is not enough. You also need courage to face challenges, resilience in the face of adversity, and above all, love for what you do. Clark was never just a player, but a symbol of commitment to excellence who inspired generations on and off the field. When we reflect on his time in baseball, it's impossible to ignore the impact he had on the Giants team and fan base, becoming a central figure during a defining era for the franchise. His ability to perform at a high level in pressure situations, especially in the playoffs, reveals a mental and emotional strength that went beyond the physical. It teaches us that greatness often lies in how someone handles crucial moments, not just in easy victories. The intense drive and emotional style Clark brought to every game also reflects something deeper: authenticity. He wore his heart on his sleeve with every swing and every play, creating a connection between the fans. And not just the athlete, but the person behind the uniform. That contagious passion invites us to live more fully in the things we love, putting our soul into every step of the journey. Although he never reached the Hall of Fame, the recognition from fans and the franchise through the retirement of his number proves that an athlete's value isn't measured only by official awards, but by the lasting impression they leave in people's hearts and memories. Clark proves that true legacy is built on respect, admiration, and the positive impact created within a sports community. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted whenever new content is posted. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment and share it with your friends. Furthermore, his career reminds us of the importance of leadership and setting an example. In every team he played for, he was a pillar of stability and inspiration for younger players, showing that individual success only truly matters when it's shared and used to elevate the group. Well, Clark teaches us that beyond chasing victories, we should also cultivate respect, humility, and team spirit. In the end, well, Clark's story is an invitation to us all to pursue our dreams with determination, to face hardships with courage, and to celebrate every achievement with gratitude. He left a legacy that goes far beyond baseball, a legacy of passion, strength, and dedication that can inspire anyone to become their best self. May we carry that inspiration in our own lives, remembering that true greatness comes from the combination of talent, hard work, and a passionate heart. Until the next journey, dear baseball-loving friends.